I don't know what has gotten into me, but I am just going to start listening to those nudges that I have internally that say, you need to share this message. So I'm going to do it, whether anybody wants me to or not. I do believe the reason I'm being nudged to share it is because somebody needs to hear it. That's all that really matters. So I had just a really impactful conversation. One of those, I'm not sure why we're meetings, but we felt called to meet, and then we did. And we're like, oh, this is just an amazing conversation. And now we understand maybe a little bit more why, or we're so glad that we had that conversation. And then just after that, I had a couple other recent conversations or nudges, or people asking me a question, or a coaching conversation, and then a blog that, I'd never read before that all of a sudden pops up. And it's all around a couple of things. One is marriage and one is faith. And I'm just like, you know what? I think that I need to hear this first and foremost. And secondly, there's probably somebody else there that needs to as well. And then it reminded me, we should be sharing this anyways, because there's some things coming up here that Chris and I are really looking forward to doing together as a couple and in the real estate industry that we think many of you are going to want to be part of, both nationally as well as locally here in North Idaho. And so, in the Spokane area. And so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of share a couple of thoughts with you guys, and hopefully it's helpful. First and foremost, we are on a mission to figure out how to bring more of our life into business, because when we go to a real estate office or we go to a real estate training as real estate entrepreneurs, we're always looking at business solutions for oftentimes things that aren't really business problems in the first place. And quite frankly, may still be good information, but we're still being held back, and we can't be the best version of ourselves even using those tactics, because we aren't immersing our lives with our businesses in the way that we should. We're actually holding ourselves back in our lives, in our personal relationships, in our faith, in our health and wellness. And it's impacting our business, yet we are only seeking out opportunities for our business. And so upcoming in the new year, we have some great ideas and things that we're going to be doing. So stay tuned. That's going to bring you guys, I think, into an opportunity where we truly can have a better quality of life together. And then our businesses are absolutely going to grow, because we are authentically, bringing to the center of our business who we are, what our calling is, and we're being the best version of ourselves. And, many of you that I know, you work with your significant other, you work with your spouse, right? And so I wanted to share this with you because it's real, and it's what we should be talking about. Because if we can get better at this, then everything in our business together will continue to flourish. And of course, I feel like I can't do it without bringing in the faith period, because for many years I didn't really believe that my faith was intertwined with my business. It shouldn't be. And, I've had recent conversations, and I've shared this on social media, and Chris and I have had a lot of conversations recently about how our business just continues to really grow if we put all of our faith in God, and we realize that He is part and should be part of our business plan. And ultimately, if we're doing good with all the gifts that He has given us, like, we will be taken care of. And so will the people that partner with us. And so, prayer and really bringing our faith into our business is a new mission of ours. So if you are working with a significant other and that is something that resonates with you, I just wanted to say, we would love to be in conversation with you. We would love to start a relationship with you. We think that we can benefit each other when we are in alignment with other couples in this way. So, but I also wanted to share a couple of things that either I've learned, because I failed forward in this, and in both the faith and the marriage ways, but also people who I've recently had conversations with have shared their just enormous wisdom with me, and just important and critical thoughts that are going to help me be a better version of myself. And I think, Chris and I are going to continue to always want to be better as a couple. And so I thought, you know what, I have felt blessed by this information, and maybe somebody else out there would feel the same way. So I just want to share it with them. So, the deal is that, marriage, as we all know, that I'm not telling you anything you don't know, is not always a walk in the park, right? But I think that many of us, and I know Chris and I do, we believe that it has a powerful purpose. In fact, I think that has just been something more recent that we just continue to recognize more and more. And after my conversation on Friday, I just realized how powerful this purpose can be for a couple, and what marriage really can do for the good that it can do for both parties, both people, and for the community and the family and the world at large. I mean, truly, I believe that. So I think it's just, important to just have conversation. Like, I certainly don't have all the answers. I never will. But I think that the hope is to just encourage you, as well as for us to be encouraging ourselves, to just figure out how to boldly go after your purpose for your life together as a couple. And if you so feel called, obviously, in your own faith, for us, it's God's purpose for our life together. So a couple of things that I read that I thought would be interesting are the 16 pieces of marriage advice that a couple of these people that I've recently had conversations with has shared with me, that I thought, you know what, this is just something I needed to hear so badly. I think I always need to learn and hear these things. And it might be something that you want to as well. First and foremost, pray together. I think that has been something I've learned, and it's been so valuable to me as a single unit of this couple, that prayer should always be part of our lives. And even as a couple, praying together can be more impactful than I think many of us know. That has helped Chris and I, and trust me, we don't do it perfectly. Also, most likely you are the one who is wrong. I love that, because we're always blaming the other person. And the reality is that, most likely we've got something that we can fix in it. So if we always come from the place that we're the one that's wrong, I think we come from a place of wanting to learn versus being right. And that's super important in any relationship that we can bring into our business relationships, by the way, too, right? But here's the thing, we are all finite, limited creatures. So none of us are going to be perfect, and we can't expect that from our significant other, right? And just focus on taking the next right step together. It doesn't have to be this grandiose, like we've got it all figured out. Sometimes that becomes discouraging. So just taking the next right step together, in business together, if you work together, in life together, in parenting together, in your faith together, whatever that is. And I think focusing on the next right step versus the overall picture for many people is much more encouraging and motivating. And I know that has helped me in both business, marriage, life, all the things. And at the end of the day, you and your spouse are on the same team. You're not against each other. I've had to learn this, because sometimes I feel like it's me against someone else, or me against the world, or me against my spouse. And it's just not true. Once you are married, it's you and your spouse on the team together, right? And when you start saying my spouse isn't my type, or isn't this, or we're just different, we start to create a story that we believe. And the reality is your spouse is your type if you want them to be. So remember, just choose carefully the words that you use and the things you say to yourself, because you can manifest that reality if you think about it too much. And many times we do that. I know I have. Look, none of us are perfect. Like I said, we're all sinners. We both are. We both need to continue to do better. And especially if you are in your faith, you're just realizing you both need Jesus, right? And so I think sometimes when we come from that place of just understanding that, we're not so critical of ourselves and others. But, also there was just some really practical things, like never talk badly about your spouse in front of anybody else, especially to family, because they don't forget. Have you ever been in that situation when you feel like you just need to vent, but then you let it go and they never do, right? It's just important to realize, and that's part of like, we're on the same team. Like, we just work this out together. We don't need to bring outside people in that could create maybe some more problems as you start to make, movements, forward positively in your marriage. Look, you and your spouse are on the inside and everyone else is on the outside, right? Those are the boundaries that you have to create. And I think if you always remember that you're on the same team and it's you guys against the world, makes it a little bit different in your conversations and how you feel together moving forward through challenges and growth and building a business together, whatever it might be. The last ones are the ones that, Chris and I really work hard on, which is just having more fun with each other, not taking each other so seriously or our life together so seriously, because fun is really, really important. And it helps us to remember like why we really love each other and love spending time together, which means we probably will want to spend more time together, which is also why we've been able to consistently schedule a date night for a couple of years now. And just no matter what, never let that go by the wayside. The other one was having close married friends. I think that's so important. And that's actually something I wanted to, bring up, because that is a mission that we're going to be bringing in the new year in real estate. Because so many of realtors work with their spouses. How do we do this together? And how do we become friends as we're growing businesses together? How do we grow ourselves in our relationships and in our faith and all of the things, our families, because our businesses will always be better and will always grow if those things are right. if those things are not right, we're going to have troubles in our business because we can't compartmentalize business and life. And that's something that I've learned all too much myself that I think is so, so critical. The other last one I just wanted to share that I think is so important is never stop learning about your spouse, because you might think you know them completely, but you never really do. Because by the way, as human beings, we all change even as time goes by. So if you've been married for 10 years, you think you know everything, but do you really know everything? And do you know what your spouse is thinking and feeling now? Do you know what they're learning about? Do you know how their perspectives might be changing? Because we all do change. And so we just get complacent and think we know everything, and we don't. And when we can continue to learn about each other, I think that makes it more fun, and we can rediscover new ways that we can be on a mission together in life and business, where we can just have a greater impact, have fun, and do it together as a team. And so I just wanted to share that with you because, like I said, 3 conversations, a random blog post, these are all signs to me that I need to be listening to this more, and that maybe somebody out there needed to hear it. And then last but not least, it just made sense for me because, again, as we're moving into the new year, we want to be creating space for people who work together as couples or who are in real estate that want to bring their significant other just more into their life and business in a different way. Like, this is how we believe we're going to do real estate differently, business building, entrepreneurship differently in the year to come. It's also how we're going to make sure that we have a better quality of life and a better business. And it doesn't matter what is going on in the world or in the market. We will be able to show up and serve people if we just continue to make sure that we are out there using our God-given talents and strengths together and or separately, but doing it in a way that we're just the best version of ourselves as much as we can be. And that's through conversations with like-minded people. And more importantly, people, friends, people in alignment. And you know what? If we get to do business together, then that's awesome too. So that was just what was on my heart and mind this morning. I'm going to be doing more of these live streams so that I can hopefully reach more people that are wanting to do what we're wanting to do, because after all, that's how we find our tribe. That's how we get to move forward with people that we really feel aligned with. So that's my message for today. Who knows what it'll be next week? I think that if I just listen to the signs coming to me in the conversations, I bring it out forth to you guys, someone out there probably is waiting to hear the message. So that is my hope. Hope you guys have a wonderful week and a Merry Christmas, as most of you are going to be, finishing up work and getting ready for time with family and friends. And that's what we're going to be doing. We hope that you have an awesome time, and we'll be back here. I will be back here sharing more thoughts with you guys after the holiday season. If this was something that resonated with you, though, I would love to have a conversation with you about it, because it is something that resonates with me and something I'm really working towards in the new year. So reach out. You guys know how to find me on social media. Of course, just DM me. If you're watching on YouTube, you can reach out to me there. I would love to have that conversation. Thanks so much, you guys. Talk to you soon.